Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that I haven't met, my name is Minnie, and this is a channel for you to learn everything about MBA and the life beyond. And this week is actually the first week of school of my second year MBA. I thought I would actually give you a recap of how my summer has gone in two parts. So in the first part, which is this video, you will be hearing a lot about internships and the professional development of MBA during the summer. Part two, you will hear more about the fun stuff. For today, I thought it would be super interesting to give you an overview of why internships, what does MBA internships look like. Please also do check out my previous videos about internship recruiting in consulting, banking, and product management, which are the three most popular career paths at Sloan. Let's get started. To start, many people have asked me in the past, what are you doing this summer? Why are you doing an internship? Is it required to graduate? And the answer is no, no, and no. It actually used to be a requirement for MIT Sloan MBA program for you to do a summer internship, but starting my year, which is the class of 2024, that is actually no longer required. So why do people still do it? I mean, other than the fact that we're all a bunch of type A people who are super competitive and just need to get an offer. There are actually a variety of reasons why people want an internship. Many people want to secure a full-time job offer by doing the internship. And those really very much apply to the structured or the typical traditional MBA career paths like consulting and investment banking. You can expect, although economy dependent, to receive a full-time job offer if you perform well during your internship. Second year of MBA, you can just party? Oh yeah, right. We actually have school. Another reason could be you are trying to pivot into a different industry or a different role. Doing an internship will really help you get to know the people in that area, in that industry, in that role type, and also potentially build a connection and show that you are qualified for the full-time roles afterwards. It's also a chance for you to test out whether your career goal or career pivot is right for you. And many people actually do their internship and realize, oh, just kidding, I don't really like what I did. And they still have one more year to pivot into something else. There are also cases where people just want to try something different. It's 2 years of your life that you will never get back, and you probably won't have an opportunity like this to do actually whatever you want. From what I gathered, if you are interested in doing an internship, there are quite a few options that I see at MIT Sloan that was very popular this summer. I will start with tech because I worked in tech as a product manager. There are interns who went to Amazon, Google, Adobe for product management specifically. Outside of product management, there are actually also quite a few of my classmates that went into strategy roles, investment roles, and marketing roles at tech companies around the US. For finance, as you know, there are a ton of people who went into investment banking, private equity, venture capital, as well as investment management. And for consulting, as I mentioned again in my previous video, MBB, which stands for McKinsey, Bain, and BCG, are the top choices for people who want to go into management consulting. But of course, there are other consulting companies that offer summer internships for MBA students. The fourth category, which I haven't really covered in my previous videos, are the startups and also entrepreneurship. If you're interested in entrepreneurship, I'd love to actually talk to you guys more about that specifically. And now part two, which is pay. You probably skipped ahead all the content and got straight into this section, but that is okay. We love transparency. I want you to be informed before you pick your internship path because it's important. We spend a lot of money to be in this program, and you should be constantly evaluating your financial goals as well as your returns. For product management, what I've seen is actually a range of offers that gives you your internship salary from monthly salary to hourly salary. The internship pay hourly rate actually ranges from $50 per hour to $88 per hour. And if you convert that to a 10-week internship over the summer, that will be in the ballpark range of $20,000 to $35,000. And that is just usually the base pay. There are generally relocation bonuses or relocation support that ranges from $6,000 to $15,000, depending on the company. And why did I give you the hourly rate? Because for my internship offer, it was actually an hourly rate that's on my offer letter. So hopefully this range will give you a good idea of whether you are falling within the average range for an MBA summer internship. Economy is changing, inflation is changing, so I have no idea what it's going to be next year. But if you're someone who is considering that, this is generally what you can expect. Now for investment banking. Alright, so it turns out that for investment banking, the offer letter usually gives you the annual salary rather than hourly or monthly. So all these numbers are prorated. The investment banking annual base salary is around $175,000 to $185,000 depending on the bank. That comes out to be $36,000 to $39,000 for the summer internship if it's 10 weeks. The sign-on bonus is usually $50,000 for banking plus potential relocation allowance or bonus from $10,000 to $15,000. And all of that adding together, you will actually be earning $96,000 to $104,000 for a 10-week internship. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you sign early for your full-time return offer, if you get one, you can actually sometimes get another $15,000 bonus. However, money might not be everything. A lot of my investment banking friends did work very, very hard over the summer. Could be an average of 15 hours a day. So you just have to make sure that you're okay with that kind of lifestyle for the pay that you get. For consulting, the base pay is around $37,000 to $40,000 for a 10-week internship plus $500 to $1,500 relocation bonus. There is no sign-on bonus for internship from what I gathered, but likely there will be for full-time. And finally, for startups, this surprised me a little bit. Generally, the hourly rate for startups, and these are generally tech startups that I have spoken to, is $30 to $35 per hour, and that comes out to be $10,000 to $14,000 for a 10-week internship. I know. What do we do? It's so hard. But you guys are probably going to get return offers, and if you are passionate about the project, you negotiate and you get a decent amount of equity, and if the company ever goes public or get acquired, and you will be loaded, unlike the rest of us. There's the list that I compiled in terms of just your base and bonuses, cash allowance, just to give you an idea of what your pay range might lie depending on your sector and role. There are a lot of people who are sponsored consultants or sponsored by their company, for example. Money is not a problem, you don't pay tuition. So this summer, it's really for you to do whatever you want. And a lot of people actually are willing to do unpaid projects or internships just so that they get the experience. Now let's move on to the last part of this video, which is a little bit of internship pro tip as well as different goals that people have for themselves during the internship. The first one is people want to get a return offer for their full-time job through this summer internship. If you do fall into this bucket, I think best advice I can give based on, again, my classmates' input, thanks everyone, is just to work hard and just know that that is your goal. You want to get a return offer, you need to work hard, you need to set goals, you need to outperform. Just making sure having weekly one-on-ones with your mentors, with your manager, get feedback as soon as possible. Make sure you have a mid-internship check-in to ask about full-time offers and where you are in terms of performance. The second type of goal, which I think personally I fall into as well, is when you're trying to pivot into a different role type or a different industry, and you want this internship to be first, a validation that your interest is what you want, and second, to build experience in this particular area so that you're more competitive when it comes to full-time recruiting. My tip for this particular category is to make sure you do goal setting very early on with your managers and mentors and be very clear about what you want to get out of this internship. For example, if you're pursuing product management, really think about what about product management you want to work on. For me, when I walked into my internship, I actually set a list of 10 to 15 goals, very specific skill sets that I want to build over the summer, and kind of bucketed them into different categories. And I walked through this with my manager and mentor pretty much every week to make sure I'm on track for those goals. And another important thing to do is to ask for projects that will suit your goal if your main project does not give you all that exposure. For example, one of my goals was actually to be very quantitative and data-driven in my role, but my project wasn't set up in a way that I had to work with a lot of data. So I actually asked for a secondary project that's more marketing related, where I get to dig through a lot of engagement email data to boost my skill sets in that area. And finally, if you are a returning consultant or sponsored by your company, you can do whatever you want this summer. So there's nothing really you need to really strive to do, But I would just say be open-minded, enjoy yourself, and take this as an opportunity to experience life. A lot of people who did this obviously had a great time because they chose something that they're really passionate about, not having to worry about financial return. And that is it for the video today, talking about my summer recap in the internship or professional development category. If I missed anything or there's anything else that you want to hear about, please leave me a comment below. And again, reach out in part 2. We'll talk about fun stuff. See you guys later. Bye.